Welcome back to my Editor-in-Chief desk, where I help you start living and working like a writer. Today, content managers and editors don't like hiring writers who do a little bit of everything. They want to hire writers who have specialties, writers who are subject matter experts. It's not like you won't find work without having a specialty, but the best writing jobs are for writers who do specialize in certain topics and have a lot of experience writing about those topics. That's where you're going to find the writing jobs that, one, are more interesting and you'll like, but two, they pay higher because they require expertise. This is easy for a writer, or easier if you already have studied a topic in depth and you have a degree or a certification or some sort of proof that you are experienced with a certain topic. If you're a nutritionist, you're going to be better positioned to get a nutrition writing job rather than someone who writes a little bit about everything. If you have a background in psychology, you are more likely to be hired as a subject matter expert who writes about psychology rather than a random person who writes a little bit about everything. The list goes on. If you have a background in finance, if you have a background in fashion, you get the idea. Whatever you have studied the most, you are more likely to get a job writing about those topics rather than a generalist or someone who just started, freelance writing and doesn't have a lot in their portfolio that shows their expertise on a certain topic. So what do you do if you don't have a background in a specific subject matter? Well, if you have been writing for a decent amount of time, there's a simple trick that you can do, and it has to do with taking a step back and looking at what you have been doing. We're often so close to our work, we don't see what we're good at. We don't see our specialties, or we just sort of take our experience for granted, and we can have trouble positioning ourselves as experts or as experienced writers because, again, my favorite way of describing it is just we're so close to it, we don't see our strengths. We don't see what we're good at as naturally until we take a step back and look at the bigger picture. So one easy way you can start doing this, if you have been writing at all, or even if you've unofficially been writing, maybe you've been helping friends out, or only thus far you've written as a hobby, you need to take a look at what you have been doing, and that's going to be the specialty that you start with. Maybe a friend has a fashion website and you've been helping them out writing fashion content. Now, you might not look at yourself as a fashion blogger or a fashion writer, but if that's what you've been doing, that's where you start as your specialty. And you double down on that and you gain experience doing that until the next thing comes along, because getting work as a writer involves a lot of just sort of getting momentum and getting experience. In one of my last videos, I talked about, I think it was the mediocre writer video, to take low-paying gigs to gain experience, because that's how you get a specialty and that's how you end up getting paid what you're worth later on when you have more experience. So what's another example of a type of writing that you could already been doing? Maybe you have been working as a writer already, and you've been writing about tech. Now, you wouldn't say necessarily, if you were talking about yourself, that you were a tech writer. But if that's what you've been doing, that's what you have to put in your portfolio. That's a great starting place. So the bottom line of everything I've been talking about is that you need a starting place specialty. It will evolve. You can move closer to what you really want to be doing. But positioning is so important when you are looking for work as a writer, and you don't want to go into the marketplace as much as possible with just being a general type of writer. So look at what you've been taking for granted. And, unless you absolutely hate it, that is your specialty. If you've been doing a lot of finance writing, even if you don't want to be a finance writer, you're a finance writer until you keep going and getting more experience doing something else. And it just evolves over time. That is such a constant part of growing as a writer. What you do changes, but you're constantly picking up experience that helps you go in the next right direction every time it's time for you to grow and evolve. So review what you've been doing and consider positioning yourself going forward with a specialty. Now it is your turn to comment by giving this video a thumbs up or by giving it a thumbs down. Subscribe to the channel or unsubscribe, and but don't forget to tell me why if you unsubscribe by putting a comment below. You could put a nice comment below too. I won't stop you. And if you are still with me, I will talk with you soon.